Alright guys, hopefully I'm coming through just fine. We'll get started here in a little bit. This PI and high sex starting to consume my game time again. Oh my god. I don't know if this was a good idea. Yeah, Carl, it's a day early. I tweeted it yes, I think sometime in the weekend because of my work schedule for the week. Because I'm gonna be coming home late tomorrow, so I'm not sure if I'm gonna have time to actually do proper prep for the podcast or for the stream. So I figured I'd just do it today. Yeah, actually, it kind of works out because tomorrow, you figure tomorrow's the Plex changes, right? So I was actually gonna go over the charts. It looks, I don't know, man. It looks super shady. It looks really, really shady. It's too good. It's too good. Corel, you're going for a 3. Well, how much would it be right now if you were to divide it by 500? It's like 2 and change, isn't it? I mean, I imagine you'll actually hit, if your goal is to sell the Miniplex at 3 mil. I'm not sure how much you have, but I'm pretty sure some of them can be sold for that. Oh, hey, Veronica. What's up, man? Yeah, I'm trying to figure out if there's a room in my setup to have Twitch chat on screen. I don't have the real estate. I wish I did, man. These damn charts take up too much room. It's crazy. Alright, let's go ahead and get started, guys. Got my handy dandy show notes here. So we got here on screen right now our picks from last week. Corel, so 3 million works out at 1.5 bill. Man, it's at like 1.2 right now, isn't it? That's crazy, man. I mean, it could, seeing as, you know, oh, it's, you know, because you're dealing with smaller numbers, right? People are more likely to part with their money because it's cheaper. Maybe able to. I mean, this will be the one of the few opportunity, well, probably the only opportunity where you can really gouge, you can really gouge prices. But unless you're like an Aussie time zone guy, I think that, you know, that's gonna be like active during downtime. You have to babysit those orders, I would imagine. But yeah, I mean, I definitely let's look at the charts together when we're kind of a little deeper into the show, and now we can maybe. Oh, you are Aussie time zone, dude. Dude, that's you. That's you, man. That's you. You got it. You got it. That's you. I mean, that's gonna be the key, man. It's gonna be. It's like, man, it's such a time zone war. This Plex shit's gonna be such a time zone war. It's gonna be nuts. It's gonna be absolutely nuts. It's gonna be crazy. Alright, guys, so let's go over our picks from last week. See how we did. I think for the most part, I was able to sell stuff. if that's anything to go by. Alright, let's go ahead and get started. So our first one that we talked about yesterday was a cybernetic subprocessor improved. Oh man, I think I accidentally deleted my quick bar. Or parts of it. Boo! Ah, there it is. Yeah, it's got stuck in there. Also, the one thing I've changed in my setup, guys, is I reactivated the Dacian chain or Dacian channel again. For those of you guys who are not familiar with the Dacian channel as a technical analysis tool, so that's the kind of grayed in area in the charts that you see here. That basically is the highest high and lowest low for the trading period. The main reason I'm putting it in there is it's a lot easier to visualize the actual trades that have happened throughout the region. So this is, at best, you can only go as far as the region. So sometimes you have just like the marks for the buy and sell for the day, but then it looks kind of just really odd, especially when there's not much movement in the day, to see, what's the visual depiction of the buys and sells for that item. Alright, so for this one, we called it at, if you were able to get this at under 100 mil, you would have been able to get that. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, so it was sitting at under 100 mil. For most of actually all week, it was sitting at under 100. You could have flipped it quite easily to 110 right here. They're kind of oddball, Wednesday, Tuesdays probably, because it's just the marks aren't reaching all the way up there, but it was possible, so yeah, you could have potentially flipped 10% or so on that item, which is pretty good. It's standard fare for these +5 implants. Genulutions maybe not so much, but definitely the +5s. Alright, the next one is the Gila. I actually bought and sold the Gilas. Believe it or not. Yeah, Alright, so I had bought the Gilas at 182 and sold it at 199. So that's a 9% profit before taxes. It's not bad. It's not bad. So 9% before taxes on faction cruisers. That's actually really good. 9%'s very generous for these. Very rarely does it stick around at that time. So although it is still trading under below average, you get short spikes throughout the day. Sometimes you kind of just have to be lucky, to be honest. So it took me about, that was a 2-day flip. Bought it on May 1, sold it on May 3. So wait 2 days, sell something for 9%. It's not bad. Alright, next one's the rattlesnakes. I'm still sitting on my rattlesnake. And it's still trending downwards, which is fine. I'm anticipating it to trade downwards for a while. Alright, so we were calling the rattlesnakes. If you can buy it at 345, that'd be a good buy. I got it at 343. So yeah, I'm getting bottom dollar on it, which is fine. I just have to wait. That's the only thing with these higher value items. The actual raw percentage for profit on them starts off really big, but then it closes in it closes up really quick as well. But at the same time, you have to have some patience on it. This particular style of trading that I'm showing you guys is really, you gotta be patient. It's closer to like real life swing trading, I guess. You know, you buy at the dips and the crests, you know, which is fine. I mean, that's really how it's like, to me, that I just enjoy that pace a lot more than legit one ISK wars in GDA, which is it's not really fun, man. I don't think so. And you just don't get that much anyway, unless you're super active. All right, so you were able to get that. I think it's still, you know, let's expand this a little bit. Let's go. 90 days a good view, I think. So it's a quarter. So yeah, I mean, this is you know, you're if you would have gotten the rattlesnakes at the price that I got at 343, you would have. This is 90-day, almost near the 90-day lows, which is fine because it'll eventually pick back up. I mean, rattlesnakes is a common doctrine in NullSec, which is fine. People are gonna want this eventually. People are gonna want good ratting ships because of, you know, the Blood Raider shipyards. I mean, we've had what, two CC events for the Blood Raider shipyards, and of course, you know, it's NullSec, so people were bringing caps and stuff like that, but I would imagine there's room for, you know, faction battleships in those larger comps, depending on how much they want to escalate that, or whatever meta gets developed for that. We'll see. I imagine Rattlesnake's gonna be part of it, and Machariels, because faction battleships are they're so common. They're so common in NullSec, man. It's crazy. I mean, considering the price too, they're way cheaper than when they were. I mean, I remember Machariels being $1 billion. I bought it at $1 billion just to do level 4 missions. Then I sold that shit again. I was like, oh, this is crazy. Now I'm selling this. All right, so that would have been a great buy. Next one is the Stratios. I called, if you can get it for under 200 million, you'll be in good shape. Let's take a look. Under 200, yeah, you would have easily gotten under 200 on this. We're still on the 90-day view here, guys. Yeah. But then it's like everything else, man. I'm literally waiting on this. I still have like 3 billion ISK that I'm sitting on, which is fine. I'm okay with that. As long as it's not getting that much lower, I'm fine. That's fine. That's fine. I still would have gotten it on sale effectively. All right, so I thought those goals were pretty easily achievable, guys, as far as the buys from last week. Now let's go over the sells, see if they maintain those price ranges. First one's the Garmer. Oh man, that doesn't look good. I mean, it reached 60 mil. Definitely reached it. It was well above it. Well above it. So, but it started to trend downwards. So I would actually start preparing myself to actually pick these up. So that's a 90-day high for this item. When this corrects, this might correct actually relatively drastically. So not only is it good for a sell from last week, I would actually start preparing to, or having this on your radar for something to buy once it becomes more favorable. Next one's the Pith A small shield booster. I'm so pissed I didn't catch any of this. I did not catch any of this, man. Ugh, so bad, so bad. I was right in the range too. But yeah, it's definitely, if we still have this, or or if you happen to have picked this up as a loot drop, it's a good time to sell it. It's a good time to sell it. You're looking at 90-day highs for this item. Go for it, man. Sell this. Sell it. Sell it. Sell it. Sell it. Sell it. I don't recall it actually even. See how far. Yeah, the last time it was even close to that price was going back 6 to 8 more months. Yeah, it's out. I made notes here that I observed that the Pith A small shield booster was meeting a sell price resistance at 75 mil, but that's actually not the case when I look at the Danshin channel on. Just the way it visualizes. I mean, yeah, sorta, kinda. It's not really crossing 75 mil that often, so that could be the ceiling for it. Which makes sense. I mean, in its most recent 90-day history, it tends to kind of top out between 75 million, probably closer to like yeah, I mean, between 75 and 100 million. That's really like the ceiling range there. Alright, next one is the Fed Navy Mag Stabs. I'm kind of curious who buys these. Really curious who buys these. Like, it's actually to use. Not to just flip, but to actually use. Yeah, super bullish still. It's really, really bullish. It's got a really good equilibrium for buy and sell. You can tell by the length of the buy and sell marks here versus the actual length of the Danshin channel. So it's not a whole lot of outliers basically, which is good. It's pretty balanced. It may not be so much for the usefulness of the item. It's probably got something to do with the LP conversions more than anything for Gallente LP. They're ahead right now in Faction Warfare, so it's a little easier to get this this particular racial LP. Alright, and finally for this section here, we got self-harmonizing power cores. This is a really interesting chart, actually. Really interesting. Alright, so it's sell at 2.3. You easily could have reached. You would have reached that last week, easily. But let me draw this chart back to like 30 days or so. Alright, not 29. Yeah, close enough. I'm anticipating with its most recent behavior, I don't see it I don't see the price going below average as a correction immediately right now. I'm thinking it is actually going to be in a consolidating phase for a while, because it seems like the floor on this is actually right at the 20-day average. It's pretty indicative of it going into a consolidation mode. I'm not sure as far as the items that can be built using the self-harmonizing power core, you know, how much of a how much volume of this stuff's really needed in the market to keep things going. Because the volume is pretty consistent, you know, but just based on the price behavior, I don't think this is gonna be on sale anytime soon. At least within this week, I don't think so. If it does, you know, then that's on. Yeah, if it does, I mean, it's consolidating right now already. You know, it's just I don't think it's gonna be crossing the. I don't think it's gonna be crossing below the 20-day average, because it's really beating a lot of bottom price resistance right at that 2.2 2. Yeah, 2.2 mil, somewhere around there. So we'll see. We'll see how that pans out for next week. Alright, so that's what I got for our last week's picks. Alright, next thing I wanted to go over with you guys is some kind of media type news. Alright, so for those of you guys, I just linked something in chat there. This is an article from The Guardian, and it was written by Caleb Aranya. It's basically letting folks know that he's gonna be, he's got the helm for the Guardian, Eve Guardian website, and you know, looking to start that up as a media project. For those who don't know, Caleb's been around a long time. I'm pretty sure he was a beta player for Eve. If you can imagine, that's crazy, man. That's absolutely crazy. So he's been around a long time. Known market guy, you know, in lots of circles. And he was a CSM member. I forget which one, but he was invited to be a CSM. I wish they still did that. That makes so much more sense to me if CCP actually just invites people to be CSM. And yeah, so that's him. I'm super excited for Caleb to be able to now that he has time and, you know, the energy to take on a big project like that. Speaking specifically on, you know, Eve market type of news, I imagine that's going to be covered pretty well in his site. Really looking forward to it, man, because there's just not a lot of exposure out there for Eve markets, even though it's one of the main things that make Eve the most unique MMO out there in the market. You know, its ability to show all that stuff. Yeah, really excited about it, man. Really am. And yeah, I just like his the way the website just came about, man. It's almost like it happened by accident, you know, the way he just ran into people and just started talking about it. It's cool, man. All right. Alright, then we got our updates coming up tomorrow. It's really worked out me having to be able to do this today, actually. This is probably one of the biggest updates that I can remember. Like besides Citadels, of course. Citadels really changed the game, but we just didn't know how it was really gonna change it because it was so buggy. like it didn't really show its potential until all the initial bugs were kind of hashed out. So this update's happening more. The biggest one. So let's kind of go in order of that. Alright, so we got the Blood Raider shipyards that's coming to Delve, isn't it? How convenient. I don't know, man. It's super convenient. Super convenient that Imperium's there. Hope I'm saying that right. I'm pretty sure that's how it's set up right now. But regardless, I've seen the Lone Wolf, and I forget there's another streamer that I saw talk about their experiences in the test server for the Blood Raider shipyard. It seemed like it was still kind of buggy, so hopefully that's fixed. And one of the you know, the tie-dye, I mean, I don't know, I mean, they're doing it in the test server, so I don't know if it's more easily tie-dyed in the test server. I imagine that's the case. There was also one event where the Blood Raiders weren't spawning what they thought would be the correct number of ships. And then there was another bug where the Blood Raider dreadnoughts spawned, but they didn't do anything. They just sat there and kind of just blue-balled the player fleet. I don't know if that's by design, but that's pretty realistic. I was like, oh man, I don't know. We'll see, man. I anticipate people losing expensive ships because, I mean, it's like Drifters when they came out, wouldn't it be like that? You know, like super over, like really OP, but then we can't handle it, or you know, it takes too much effort to try to handle it, then it gets drawn, you know, and it gets drawn back. However, it being available in HiSec in known areas, you know, where people are already established, I mean, that's a big difference. So we'll see how it goes, man. I'm really excited about it, because I mean, think about it. You know, if this becomes the standard platform to deliver PvE, I mean, that's awesome. You know what I mean? You don't even necessarily have to redo all the missions. But if you can employ something like this to maybe like the bigger missions or the more known missions, like I don't know, like you know, the Damsel, or you know, that mission that kind of just, you know, it's just waves upon waves upon waves. I forget which one. Worlds Collide. If we had something like this for Worlds Collide, I think that'd be really cool. But we'll see, man. I'm really excited. I'm really excited about it. Hopefully CCP continues to iterate on this. We've never seen anything like this. This is the biggest PvE change that I've seen since I've been playing, and I hope HiSec sees something like this. It's kind of, when I first heard about it, I was like, oh, this new PvE thing, and it's gonna be great, it's gonna be awesome, and it's a nullsec. Like, are you serious? Are you serious? You know, I was kind of upset. I was like, oh my god, like really? Don't you want to test something? You know, just test it in HiSec, man. Who cares? You know, people lose ships there all the time, whatever. But you know, I mean, it is a high reward item. I get it. You know, do it in nullsec. Yeah, why not? So you can use capitals and stuff. But I wish they, hopefully it'll be able to be scaled to encompass the other types of space soon. TM. Whenever they, you know, fix the inevitable bugs out of this new system. All right, so that's that. The Blood Raider capitals. The only source of the BPCs will be completing the NPC Sotillo, the Blood Raider shipyard events. So that's pretty cool. That's really cool. So they're gonna be pretty rare. I mean, I'm not sure how often these Blood Raider shipyards will spawn, or how many at a time. But if they're the only source of the BPCs, I mean, these are gonna be super rare ships. I couldn't imagine what price tag the BPCs would be. That New Sun, I'm not. This doesn't really like. This doesn't really get me going. Like that type of visuals in Eve doesn't really get me going. But to some, maybe, yeah, that's your thing. Finally, Plex. Oh my god. So let's talk about that real quick. So the Plex, so tomorrow, so after downtime today, at recording at right now, Plex will no longer be as you know it. If you have Plex in your hangar, they will be broken down into mini Plex. So a mini Plex is basically 1/500th of a Plex as we know it right now. Along with the breaking apart of the Plex, you're going to have the Plex Vault, which is an account-wide inventory specific to Plex. A lot of people were like complaining, like, oh, that's going to take away the ability of people to lose stuff, to lose Plex transporting it. No, not really. I mean, you can still, if you really, really want to, put Plex in your cargo, in your shuttle, and undock from Jedha. You can still do that. The Plex Vault's not gonna stop you from putting that stuff in your hangar. And just think, I mean, from an RMT standpoint, I mean that's probably how or why people lose Plex anyway in mass. You know, for those of you guys who don't know, it's an RMT tactic. So if you figure you're trying to launder Plex into the hands of another player, you go on the ship, have Plex in your cargo hold, get blown up, and hopefully that guy can, hopefully the loot fairy says yes, and you get most of the Plex that you were aiming for to get laundered into for the other player. That's how you do it. Can you still do that method once the Plex Vault becomes active? Yeah, you can still do that. But then I think it'll be a lot easier to spot, since we do have something like the Plex Vault at that point. Alright, so while we're... let's take a look at Plex as we know it right now. Last full day of the Plex. And where it might end up. So let's expand this a little bit. Okay, so there's a 9-day view of Plex. It hasn't corrected itself in like the last 60 days. It's nuts. It's absolutely nuts. I've never what a drive, man. What a drive. That's crazy. So right now it's, let's see how much it would, if the prices hold right now, so 1.2. So if the prices hold right now, you should be able to sell your Plex. The actual value, the 1/500th value of the Plex is about 2.5 million. Corel asks, is the ARM conversion happening tonight as well? I thought they already. Not all of the ARM conversion, because if you remember correctly, they weren't going to redeem 1,000. Or anything less than 1,000 ARM, but that's something that CCP has stated that they will look into fixing later. You'll get most of your ARM converted, but not all of it, unless you have the exact amount, unless you have exact change. It's like a damn toll. So at downtime, what I'm assuming to be the base price of the Plex should be around 2.5 mil. It's not gonna stay at 2.5 mil for long. I guarantee it. There's no reason for it to. Because then people would be more willing to part with their money, right? Because it's only 2.5 mil. You know, like I can play it. I can play the Plex market now because it's now just 2.5 mil. No. I imagine the price to go up. I think it's pretty. I think it's pretty reasonable for it to get pretty close to 3 mil, if not over it. How long can it sustain that though? Depends, man. It really depends. If you think about the mini Plex, I'm thinking that it's going to behave very closely to like when new items get introduced to the game. It spikes up in price just due to the raw demand. People don't have it and they want it. But then soon after that demand gets fulfilled, it reaches it reaches the absolute limit of the demand, and the price reversal comes really, really quick. I mean, you're looking at Plex that it gets traded anywhere from, 2,000, it upwards of 5,000 units a day in the last 90 days. I mean, that volume is gonna skyrocket. It's gonna be nuts. It's gonna be nuts. So I imagine the volume's gonna at least, I mean, I wouldn't say it's gonna be 500 times more, but it should be pretty close to that. Actually, it's gonna be absolutely insane. But as far as my prediction, at least the first few days of with the introduction of the Miniplex, it's gonna be high. I think it's very realistic actually for it to see upwards up to 3 million. I think that's very realistic. I don't think it's gonna be sustained for long though. It might spike into that intraday and then drop back down. You really gotta be quick on the ball, man. If you're in a time zone that's active right after downtime, looking at you Aussie time zone people, looking at you Corel, Aussie time zone people. Man, take advantage of being in Aussie time zone, man. I would. I really would. Yeah. Yep. It'd be me. It'd be me all day trading Plex. And then the main reason it's up right now, it's like people are trying to get as much of it as possible because they know that the demand will be strong enough, at least in the beginning, to where if they can actively play it, they're risking it. They're absolutely risking it. I mean, me personally, I would not buy, if I were an Omega pilot that uses Plex to stay Omega, I'm not gonna buy that at 3 million because I've already 500 of it. No, that's effectively paying a Plex for 1.5, 1.7 bill. So no, I'm not gonna do that. I'll wait. I'll put buy orders. I'll wait. I'll be patient. But yeah, I think that's the play that a lot of people are going for. I think it's a pretty reasonable play, and I think it plays into kind of the herd mentality of the market sometimes. So I think it's a viable move. Alright, and one last thing here, gifting. So you can, anything that can be bought in the EVE store can now be gifted to another player. That's pretty cool, man. I like that. That's cool. Makes it a lot better, a lot easier to, like, hey, I got you some skins for your birthday or something like that, right? And apparently Alliance logos on Citadels are coming. That's kind of cool, actually. That's kind of, it gives, like, it gives personality to the Citadels. Wonder how big it's gonna be though. I hope it's big enough where you can see it, like from even if you're totally panned out, or maybe you're not. Nah, that'd be like way big. But visible if you're at least coming out the undocking kind of just move the camera around. Hopefully. All right. So next thing on the things to talk about here. So it's gonna sound really weird, guys. So I have a personal trading corp. There's 3 characters in it. And it's all me. I have enlisted my trading corp, my personal trading corp. My character's in it right now. Entered Kaldari Militia Faction Warfare. I've been in Faction Warfare in some form or another since 2010. And it's great to be back in it. Right now, I do have to do a little bit more training on my characters that are in the trading corp, but my main purpose of actually entering Faction Warfare, to get some, I'd like to get some more mileage out of my characters. So I figure, low sec PvP is very attainable from a skill standpoint. So yeah, go for it. I just gotta wait a few weeks to be reasonable, I like to be able to at least fit all the tattoo stuff. I got it, man. I cannot not do that. Just saying. Also, so besides being able to more directly interact with the LP, doing the plexes, some solo small gang faction warfare PvP, doing militia level stuff. Hopefully, I'm intending to do the faction warfare piece to actually increase my standings as well. So it doesn't increase corp standings; it's going to increase faction standings, but if you guys have never been a faction warfare, like, it bumps up your faction standings really quick. Considering the work that you do for it, it's really good. It's really good. So I just want to beef up my faction standings so that I'll have faster access to like level 3, level 4 missions, so that I can improve my standings for Caldari Navy. For the JITA standings that you need. I mean, do you really need that? I don't really sell stuff in the Citadels, so I think it just gives me something to do, I'll be honest. And I'm kind of excited about using, my otherwise non-combat of any kind tunes into more combat. So that part actually is the exciting part for me. Just being able to have more well-rounded characters. Even though I've had them this long, they've just been a dedicated indie character. So I'm really excited about being able to, just get more mileage out of them. And I definitely would want to start incorporating more faction warfare, LP conversion type materials to these streams for you guys. It's not a lot of people know how to exploit that stuff. And yeah, that's the right word I'm using, exploit. Right. It's silly. It's absolutely silly the way, because faction warfare hasn't been touched. It doesn't see a lot of iterations, and it's easily exploited. It's honestly easily exploited. So we can go over all those exploitative things you can do in faction warfare space to make you more money. I mean, think about it. Like, I am in a frigate, spending 9 minutes defensively plexing my thing, my plex, right? And even at tier 1, I'm earning 2,500 LP for 9 minutes of legit AFK. And the NPC will help me because it's defensive plexing. What is that? What kind of a system is this? You know what I mean? Like, it's begging to be abused. Begging to be abused. Yeah, but I'm looking forward to it, man. Like, it just makes it's a matter of convenience as well for me, because I've always had my faction warfare characters interacting directly with my traders, but now that they're in the same corp, I can actually utilize corp offices, which I'm really excited about because that's super convenient. So yeah, I anticipate me actually presenting more faction warfare type stuff to you guys. Like markets, like kind of what's hot in certain war zones, citadels, what citadels are being used as market hubs. That's huge. Not just bordering HiSec, but also in the faction warfare space itself as well. You don't see a lot of the citadels being contested in faction warfare space proper, because you're asking for trouble. That's 3 timers, man. 3 very public timers. No, people don't do that. They kind of just if you can manage to plop a citadel in faction warfare space for the purpose of as a market, you're more than likely going to be able to keep it. More than likely, because if someone were to contest your Fortizar, that's in low sec, and it's very public when the timers go up. It's easily defendable. Easily defendable. All right, 4 years, nice. Oh, Rain, that you, man, if you can be, do you work to Rain? So Rain says, man, that graph makes me want to buy Plex, and so Ah, I've seen forts actually. Yeah, I've seen forts in for this is for Legitimato, Faction Warfare, low sec player for 4 years. Do draw for it, prepare for a lost mail. Yeah, there's definitely that aspect to it, but from the citadels that I've seen in like kind of closer to high sec, they're not contested. They're still there. I still have stuff there for some reason. I've been there and I've been out of the area for like months. The ones that got anchored successfully have big groups behind them or had the blessings. That's very, very true, Legitimato. That's very, very true. Oh, the Akidagi, man. I have such a love-hate relationship with Akidagi system. I mean, it's a cool system to be in. It's one step from Ichiria, Naka's right there, Onamon's right there, and then Amelia's right there. It's great, man. Astor House is everywhere, yeah. They're everywhere, man. But yeah, Rain was saying buy a Plex. If you can afford to babysit it, Rain, I don't know if you work tomorrow, but if you can afford to babysit it, I would. I guess it's not so much, I'll have to check. The last time I saw more Fortizars, or actually maybe even 2, in the Minmatar Amar Faction Warfare area. I mean, I'm sure they're by proxy PLs stuff, so no one's gonna touch them. That's probably why. Oh, Rain, yeah, no, I mean, if you had Plex right now and it turns into the mini Plexes tomorrow, if you're at least, you know, yeah, I'm pretty sure you can get some decent value out of them if you had the Plex to sell. Yeah, I think you get slightly more value with from selling it tomorrow after they turn into mini Plex versus selling it right now. Legitimato says I can't totally speak for them, but a lot of larger groups there too. Yeah. And of course I'm you know, I'm saying this with in an environment where I haven't physically been to my low-sec areas in about a month or two. So I've been busy with, you know, the streaming thing and the more dedicated market stuff. So I may be totally off base here. So just let me put that up. I may totally be off base. And Rain says also waiting on Plex sales. I'm anticipating Plex sales myself. I am super anticipating Plex sales. If anything else, there's gonna be one for Memorial Day, which is coming up in 3 weeks. I can't imagine CCP not taking advantage of an American holiday to do a Plex sale. What else? Actually, while we have this up, let's take a look at how that fares against the injectors. They tend to mirror each other. Yep. Sick, man. I would say, and this might be totally out there, with the Miniplex coming in to our system, I think skill injectors are actually going to be a much more efficient storage of wealth for the long term versus Plex. Yeah, I think so. Now, the reason they say that is because of the stuff you can do with it. You know, the Miniplex on its own does nothing. You have to collect X number. Alright, lurk mode. There's something to think about, guys, as far as if you're intending to find a method to store your wealth for the long term. Like, hey, I'm gonna be away for 6 months, I'm deploying, I'm gonna liquidate all my stuff and buy something. So hopefully when I get back in 6 months, they'll be more valuable. I would buy injectors over Plex. I really, really would. I think the value of a single Plex just doesn't compare to the value of a single injector. Because the skill injector is, you know, it equals money and it equals SP. a Plex on its own, like you'd have to there's the prerequisite of having enough of it to do something with it. You know, it's not as powerful as one Plex equals many things. Now we need many Plexes to equal the same number of things. Legitimas is true, and the consumption of skill injectors has a higher rate than Plex, I think. You know, I'm not sure, but that sounds right to me. That sounds right. I can tell you as a matter from my own experience, I had, well, I was running for the CSM, and I was really like, man, I gotta drop this investment fund manager deal that I'm doing. And kind of almost in a panic, I'm like, you know, I'm just gonna liquidate my tunes just to be able to pay off my investors in a hurry during the election season. And like, it was disgusting how much ISK I liquidated. Disgusting. And it all ended up in the market, you know, and I'm like, holy, I'm just one guy. And I'm just one guy. I have like 3 accounts at the time. I only have 2 now. I'm like, holy shit, like I was literally through injectors. I was literally sitting on a small fortune. You know, and I honestly believe skill injectors are going to be a much more efficient wealth storage versus Plex, especially now with Miniplex. Legit Demono says people apply injectors more often than hoard them, I think. I would think so. Yeah, I mean, because the act of buying and selling injectors, because especially in the future, if the way to get injectors is still via Aurum, which will eventually now be Plex. Now, maybe someone can help out in chat here. I haven't seen any of the proposed conversion rates of the Miniplex to the current items that you can buy as service. Unless someone has that. I haven't seen anything. For the most part, I don't dig into it too much because I know it's gonna be super manic in the beginning. I'm just not gonna. I'm not gonna set myself up for failure by like being excited. I don't want to be excited. I do not want to be excited. So yeah, I'm gonna be cool. I'm gonna keep it cool. Wait for things to correct price-wise, and then pull the trigger. So definitely, I'm gonna be super excited about being able to attack the Miniplex now that it's Miniplex. All right, one last thing that I want to go over with you guys is it's gonna be kind of hard to show the way the screen is. Let me take off the text real quick. I'll show you guys my orders real quick. Legit Demono says, how many scams selling new Plex units at old Plex unit prices? Oh man, I didn't even think about that. There's gonna be a few. There's definitely gonna be a few. Because if you're not keeping up with that stuff and you're logging in, like, oh my god, one Plex for, you know, this guy's selling it for 500 mil. Yeah, people are gonna fall for it. People are gonna totally fall for it. Yeah. If the number of people who didn't know about the CSM is any indicator, you know, most players just don't read into the game. They just play it. So it wouldn't surprise me if some people get caught. That's actually really cool. That's interesting. Alright, so I just want to go over my orders real quick, guys. A lot of my PI stuff finally got sold. Alright, so my only sells actually for the week has been from like this point 5-1. So from this point onwards, I just want to highlight patience. So I was literally holding on to my PI items for like almost 3 weeks. Like there was almost 2 weeks straight where I had no sell movement on my wallet, but I had to wait. So I just want to kind of put it out there, guys. You know, especially with this style of trading, you have to be able to afford yourself the ability to wait out price movements. Because you can't, you know, a lot of people will kind of like joke and say, oh, I'm gonna manipulate the market to make it, you know, do this or that. It's like, dude, come on, man. For most items, it's not realistic. Corel asks, did you make the Zigumas or did you flip them? I made them. I do a lot of my active is making happens from our Alliance wormhole, and I just got lucky, man. I found like 3 of them, you know, in data sites, and like, fuck it, why not? Because the material cost for the Zigumas is like it's like 6 mil in material cost, and you can flip it from anywhere from 63 to 80 mil per. So yeah. The trick is finding them. If you were to look in contracts, though, people sell them for like you know, just outrageous price. Like, I'm not buying that shit. Fucking get out of here. Low volume is death with me. Jesus says Legitimato. Yeah, low volume is death, man. It really is. But I just wanted to highlight, you know, for you guys out there that have been sticking around and following along. Hopefully, you guys were able to, you know, hold the line and like, no, don't sell, don't break, don't sell, man. Because you should be going into these into market activities already with a plan. Like, I'm gonna buy here, I'm gonna buy this much, I'm gonna sell here, just like that. But you gotta stick to it. You gotta stick to it, and it really helps if you're not on an. It sounds really silly, but the more productive market players out there don't actually need the money. Like, it's literally just for fun. And it sounds super counterintuitive when you say it like when I say it like that, but that's the truth though, because there's no pressure. You know what I mean? There's no pressure. Coral says you got a few BPs in Jita for 3 mil a few weeks back. What? That's crazy. Legitimatos with investing in faction battleships, bro. Yeah, faction. I got rattlesnakes right now. I try to stay away from Macarios, man. I can't. They're too spiky for me. I can't keep up with Macarios. Cannot. Legitimato says, hope to God CCP nerfs their BPC drop rate. I hope so too. It's just really ridiculous how cheap they are, and they're only getting cheaper. There's no reason for them to never pick up in price. No reason. You know, I really hope that. But you know what? They adjusted the drop rate for small ancillary armor uppers too. It shot up to like 7 mil. So I was like, it makes no sense. Makes no sense, man. Picked up a bunch of max at 300 mil. Yep. Yeah. It bounces between 300 and like 350. Top end 350. What? That's crazy. Yeah, we gotta do something about that. I mean, for the price, they're incredibly overpowered. I mean, a bill may be a bit much, but for the price of a, you know, slightly like 25% more than a Tech 3, to have that kind of output, faction battleships are super OP, just on the cost alone. Still holding on to them. It'll just take time, yeah. Flipping faction battleships takes time. 600 mil per hull sounds alright. I mean, faction battleships are in the 800 mil range. Yeah. I mean, some of them are super cheap though. Actually, let me put this away. Yeah, I mean, I think I would still buy rattlesnakes for 600. Yeah, I think they're totally worth it. Totally worth it. Alright guys, and the last bit here that we got is it's actually going to be really short and sweet as far as our picks. Alright, so looking at our buys here, it's actually kind of like a combination. I used to flip the shit out of Tech 3 Cruisers. Like Proteus and Tengus all day, man, all day. And they all share the same pattern, but we'll look at them one by one, right? Okay, so this is a Tengus. $90-day lows for the Tengus. That's a buy signal. Hardcore buy signal, man. Hardcore buy signal. What really gets me is that the volume at which it dropped like that. Man, I have a feeling that this is the point of reversal. Alright. Actually, I was anticipating it to not happen yet. I created this list yesterday, or 2 days ago. But yeah, 90-day lows, man. So that's shy of 110, or slightly above 110. That's actually a very historical low. It may be for the year, actually. It may be for the year. Yeah, actually, yeah. Check that out. Yeah, almost. Yeah. 12-month low. Wow. Hippie dude, is there ever going to be a bottom to the VNI market? No. No, there isn't. Because Galactic Faction Warfare LP is at they're at tier 3, right? They bounce between tier 3 and tier 4. So no, it's the LP is too plentiful. It's not bottom. Legend of Moss says could be a nice pickup with the Tech 3 balance on the horizon. Yeah. As long as going to farms them like crazy. Yeah, it's a supply and demand thing. You know, like being in faction warfare. Like I don't really care what. If I'm selling an item and I'm selling it at 10% less value than when I did 3 months ago, I just want the ISK. I don't care if it's crushing the market. Sorry. But yeah, man. So a Tengus, I think a really good buy. Now, could it actually hit lower than this? I'll be honest with you, man. Even if it did, I'd still be okay with it. I'd still be okay with it because. So I made a note here, Tengus at 115. I think we've already, it already hit below that. Consolidate to new low average. I don't think it's gonna pick right back up like a reversal that matches the intensity at which the price dropped. I don't think it's gonna be like that at all. I think it's gonna settle into a consolidation period below 120. How long it's gonna stay there, I'm not sure, because there needs to be a reason for the value to pick up on the Tengus. I just don't think that they're as popular as a mainline doctrine in nullsec versus, say, faction battleships. As far as exploration, they've Stratios, you know, is I shouldn't say that. There's even as a worm holder. I don't even use Tengus as a worm holder. Like, no, man, I use rattlesnakes. I use Gilas. I use faction ships. It just doesn't have Tech 3s just aren't as powerful as they used to be. Legitimata says Tech 3 rebalance and renewed interest will rebound by this time. I hope so. As a concept, I really think that, you know, Tech 3s are unique. It's just that in all that what's the word I'm looking for? In all that versatility, we only utilize like 25% of the available combinations. Probably less than that. You know what I mean? Like it's like, and I'm glad that they're addressing that CCP is addressing that. So hopefully we can get more viable uses out of them that utilizes more of the potential combinations. Yep. So if you guys have the money, buy up Tengus. Buy up Tengus. Can it go below 110 million? I don't think so, man. I honestly don't think so. Especially with this very obvious increase in volume at a drop like this. This might be the legit floor. I am imagining that this is the legit floor. Let's change the view real quick, actually, the table. Yeah. Low of 111. Actually, that's too fresh. It's going down. It's bouncing. Will it go below 110? As an outlier, maybe. But I don't think it consistently go below 110. And the reason I say that is this: melted nano ribbons. This is the combo meal right here, man. Melted nano ribbons are also showing at a 90-day low. Yeah, boy. Yeah, actually, very similar to the Tengu pricing. It's 1 year low. Not just 90-day low, but 1 year low. I actually put up an order for 500 units of melted nano ribbons. And I'm gonna have to reinforce that order. Let me draw this down to like 30 days. It's hit a very clear floor right here. With that being said, this will translate to the Tech 3 production, but of course there's a lag when it comes to when there's a price movement at materials for it to translate to final product. There's going to be a lag, because it makes sense. Yeah, so that's what makes me feel good about. If I had obviously I couldn't afford the Tengus, so I went for the melted nano ribbon. That's what reinforces my pick for the Tengus for 115 and consolidating for a period, at the low end. Yep. Also, polymer reactions. I'm not gonna go through every single one of them, but basically, so you need melted nano ribbons to make T3s, and you also need the polymer reactions to make the components. So all these items right here, C3 FTM acids. I'm not sorry, that's material. Yeah, that's it. No, that's right. So most of these are also trending downwards. You can kind of just browse through them. Yep, they're all trending downwards or hitting a below average consolidation. Most of them are displaying the same pattern. Big time. Oof, look at that. Just boop, dropped like a rock, man. Yep. So that combination, it forces to me that the Tengu, if you that the Tengu floor might have genuinely been reached. So hopefully someone out there, any of you guys, will be able to take advantage of this stuff. This was a super. I'm very lucky to have kind of stumbled into it, because that's. Having a more generalized knowledge of the game really allows you to be a pretty dangerous marketeer, because that stuff kind of just starts clicking, and you just start picking it up, and you start seeing the connections. All right, so those are our buys of the week there. So I want to go over real quick at the sells of the week. Kind of wanted to. I noticed some really good buys, a really good upward momentum on pricing on some faction drones of all things. So let's go over that real quick. So the augmented hobgoblins. It's running away, man. It's running away. So if you happen to have these, I'd sell them. Like it's hitting the top of the Dacian chain, for fuck's sake. It's almost an outlier average. Alright, so that's the augmented. The integrated hobgoblins is showing the same thing. So it's pretty easy to sell this at 14. It's already reached 15 today. 15 million. Integrated hobgoblin, same thing. It's running. It's hitting the top of the Dacian chain. It's an outlier high. So hopefully you guys can take advantage of that. And finally, if you guys are making these excavator mining drones, they're actually back up. Believe it or not. I haven't made these yet, so I'm not. I don't intend to be honest. The price is just too expensive for me to build them. Oh yeah, the last couple of days it's been running away, man. So I mean, if you guys have come across the BPCs of these and you have the mats on hand, I'd build them and sell them. It's not gonna reach its previous levels. It's pre nerf. Gross says I got a couple of BPCs if anyone wants them. Yeah, dude. I mean, how long can this upward momentum be sustained, man? I don't know. It looks like it hit the ceiling really quick, though. The ceiling of 0.8, 800 million. So I don't know. What's better than selling it for 750? So, and it's above average. It's above average, man. If you can build it like quick, I'd build it and drop it in the market, to be honest. All right, so those are kind of they're easy sells. Super easy sells. Alright, well I think that's really all I got, guys. And yeah, so this is Legitimado says page capacitor flux coil is bottoming out on sell orders. Check that out real quick. The volume though, man, super low volume. Oh, it's not even a lot of buy orders, man. Is this a Cosmos item? Wraith X72, I'm just loading station trading. Alright, good for you, man. If it's well planned, it's probably one of the easier ways to make money. But that's a trick though, so making sure it's well planned. Yeah, but if you guys have any questions, I'm just gonna, we'll stay up for a few minutes here. But otherwise, this is the only, hopefully this is the only time that I'm gonna be streaming on Mondays. by next week I should be able to continue back on normal schedule Tuesdays. This is just because of a work schedule for this week, so different. Legitimate says, I think one person manipulating orders to drop artificially low sell orders. Possibly, but this is a bad choice for an item to manipulate though. And Wraith X72 had a few mishaps. It happens. I had such a huge misstep on Negasite last year. Ugh, it's terrible. Absolutely terrible. But it's right for manipulation, yeah. Corel, thanks for doing it a day early. Worked out well for it. Yeah, I mean, it kind of worked out too because I really wouldn't have a whole lot to talk about, even with the Plex stuff, because then it's like happening like live. You know what I mean? Like I wouldn't have the time to digest what's happening. So it'll be kind of cool to kind of, you know, look back into the streams like, oh, I said this about the Plex stuff, and, you know, kind of make predictions and like, oh, did it actually happen? That'd be kind of neat. Oh, you Wraith have been only playing for 2 weeks and already doing station trading? Good for you, man. A lot of people take years to see the potential in it, even just the potential of it, but it's the easiest to scale its making activity in the game, because you can spend the same amount of time and have varying effects depending on how efficient you are with spending that time. Yeah, it's fun so far. Yeah, Legitimate says easiest way to make money in game. Yep, absolutely, man, absolutely. I wish it was like that for other MMOs. Like I play I also play Arcade. Playing the market in Arcade actually it's not fast. It could be, but it's not. Yeah, it's fun, man. It's like for me, I enjoy the mental workout of it. And Legitimate says you can manage market orders, and the Forge will also run SOE missions on that alt if you want. Yeah, I mean, for the longest time I was like dual, you know, I like 2 clients up. One would be my faction warfare character, the other one would be my trader, and I'm just, while sitting in the Plex, I'm adjusting orders. It's just the way it is. But I'm super excited about actually being able to report about, or having a reason to report about LP. I think LP, the meta behind that, not a lot of people are aware or want to bother with knowing it. But it's sustainable. That's the biggest thing. That's my biggest takeaway from it. Is it's messing around with LP is sustainable. Yeah, I really you know what? I've been producing more items as well, and I definitely would want to make case studies for that as well. Kind of like the same thing we did here today, you know, with the Tengus and the reactions and the melted nanos. Like, I'm a text-free producer. I'm not making them right now because of 90-day lows on final product, so there's no way of building that. But it wouldn't have triggered in my head to look at all that stuff if I wasn't a producer. You find losing money in manufacturing, says Legitimate. I'm like, it depends. You know what? I'm looking at some of the numbers, like even some Tech 1 items, there's still some meat on the bone, man. So where you build is also a thing. Like, I build exclusively in the Eve Mogul Sotillo in New Caldari. It's a properly rigged Sotillo for manufacturing. I'm getting great bonuses. I'm getting great bonuses. So if you're a builder, compare the prices. Make sure to shop around. Shop around, man. Certain citadels just may be gouging you straight up, and that's where you're losing money. Alright guys, so one thing I've been doing too also is I got me a video editor software, so I've actually been editing these streams just so that they're a lot tighter, you know, less dead air when I upload them to YouTube. So probably that's one, you know, it's kind of cool getting into streaming because I get to do other activities with it as well. I really enjoy it. So hopefully, it's really simple editing, you know, it's like literally just cutting dead air, that's all I'm doing. But hopefully I can, you know, kind of in the future, I'd like to be able to, I don't know, put some more flavor in it, you know what I mean? Be more consumer friendly on that stuff. Just the way, yeah, it's a creative expression, you know, video editing. Alright, but I think that's really all I got, guys. I'm probably gonna cut it here, just so that I can start working on uploading the stuff to YouTube as well. Oh, Ray says I've been boring myself with distribution missions for Caldari Navy faction while selling and skilling up. I hear you, man. Oof, I hear you. My answer to that is I'm going to faction warfare with my trading corporation so I can increase my faction standings to have easier access to the missions. So we'll see. We'll see how that plays out. If I start killing fools in my trader, man, I'm just... That's not right. That's not right. I'm gonna be focusing on defensive plexing actually, because I'm not gonna have a tune with good enough skills that I'm used to. It's not my main, so I have to be careful. Awesome. Well, thank you very much, Legitimato. Hopefully see you next week. I'm gonna be starting at Tuesdays though. Hopefully again next week. All right. Well, thank you very much, guys. I think I'm gonna cut it right here, and expect me to tweet the YouTube update, YouTube upload, hopefully by tomorrow. It takes a while for the stuff from Twitch to be usable for YouTube. So, all right. Well, thank you very much, guys. Hope to see you again next week.